What we're going to do is we're going to change radical form into exponential form, and then we're going to change exponential form into radical form. So radical form is where we have a root, and exponential form is when we just have an exponent. So for the first one, what we're going to do is we're going to change our radical form into exponential form. Now, what we have to realize is that there are different roots. If we don't see a number in the root, then we know that it's a square root. Now, our root is our denominator, and our exponent inside the root is our numerator. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be having some exponents with fractions. So for the first one, this is 3 to the 1/2. Then what we have is x to the 1/2. And we have y to the 2/2. And then we have z to the 3/2. So with that right there, we're going to simplify it into 3 to the 1/2. Then we have x to the 1/2. We have y, and then we have z to the 3/2. And that right there is exponential form. Let's look at another one. This one, it's a cube root. So we have 8 to the 1/3. We have x to the 4/3. We have y to the 1/3. And we have z to the 6/3. We're going to simplify it. 8 to the 1/3 is 2, because the cube root of 8 is 2. Then we have x to the 4/3. We have y to the 1/3. And then 6/3 reduces to 2, so we have z squared. Looking at the next one, this is a fourth root. So we have 2 to the 1/4. We have x to the 3/4. We have y to the 1/4. And we have z to the 6/4. We're going to simplify it some more. So we have 2 to the 1/4. We have x to the 3/4. We have y to the 1/4. And then 6/4 reduces to 3/2. So we have z to the 3/2. So that right there is how we turn it into exponential form. Now we're going to do the converse. We're going to take the exponential form and we're going to turn it into radical form. So since this is a 1/2, what we're going to do is we're going to take the square root, because it's a 1/2 of 2xy squared. Now what we're going to do is we're going to simplify it. So the square root of y squared is just y. So we take it out and we put y square root of 2x. And that right there is our answer. For the next one, this is 1/3. So we're taking the cube root of 27, x to the 6th, y to the 2nd. When we take a cube root, what we're going to do is the cube root of 27 is 3, so that comes out. We could take the cube root of x to the 6th. Think of this as 6 divided by 3, so that would be x squared. Now there's not a cube root of y, so we just leave it in the cube root, and it's the cube root of y squared. Now this one right here is a little bit more complicated, because what we're doing is we're taking the root. So we're taking the cube root, and then what we're doing is we're squaring everything. So that would be 3 squared, which is 9. We have x squared, so x cubed squared would be x to the 6th. Then we have y to the 8th, and we have z to the 2nd. Now we're going to simplify it. So when we simplify it, we can't take the cube root of 9, so that just stays as the cube root of 9. We can take the cube root of x to the 6th. Think of it as 6 divided by 3, which is 2. So we have x squared. 8 divided by 3, 3 goes into 8 2 times. So that would be y to the 2nd. And there's 2 remaining. So that would be y squared. Think of it as a mixed number. If you had y to the 8/3, that would be the same thing as y to the 2 2/3. So the 2 comes out and the 2 stays in. Then what we have is z squared.